Hello guys. Welcome to Animix Recapped. Before we start, warning. Spoilers alert. Today, I'm going to explain about one of the best murder mystery anime called Erased. Satoru Fujinuma, 29 years old with a job as a pizza delivery man. The original story begins when Satoru is working to deliver his pizza. Suddenly while passing a red light, he saw a glowing butterfly. After seeing the butterfly he seems to return a few minutes to the past. He called this phenomenon revival. In the present, he immediately looked for what was wrong, because when he saw a glowing butterfly something went wrong. He found out that there is a truck whose driver is asleep. Then Satoru turned around to chase the truck. He saw a little boy wanting to cross. Satoru immediately pulled the steering wheel to avoid the little boy getting hit, but instead Satoru got into an accident. At the hospital, when he woke up he saw Eri Katajiri who was accompanying him. Eri is a high school student, Satoru's co-worker at a pizza place. Eri before leaving added that the child was safe, and that the truck driver was asleep because he had died from a heart attack. Satoru was not long out of the hospital with only minor injuries. When he got home, his mother, Sachiko Fujinuma, came to cook for Satoru. The next day Satoru and Sachiko went shopping at the supermarket. When he came out, he saw another butterfly, and he came back a few minutes in the past. Satoru immediately looked around to see if something was wrong, but weirdly he found nothing. Sachiko sees a mysterious man walking with a small child. The mysterious man there glanced at Sachiko, and she realized it, but didn't tell Satoru. The mysterious man immediately rushed and went in his car leaving the little girl behind. Sachiko immediately took a photo of the car. At the supermarket, Satoru and Sachiko meet Eri, and Eri got invited to dinner. While on their way home, they are stalked by the mysterious man. Sachiko immediately matched the incident 18 years ago, where a mysterious killer kidnapped and killed 3 elementary school children. Even though the case has been closed, the suspect is Jun Shiratori who claimed to be innocent. He was scapegoated, and sentenced to death. Sachiko immediately knew who the killer was, and called the ex-co-worker who is a reporter to meet up the next day. At night, when Sachiko got home, Satoru was on his way home. A mysterious man broke into the house, and stabbed Sachiko in the back. Satoru just returned to his home, runs into a mysterious man. He doesn't know who the mysterious man is. He saw his door open, went into the house. He panicked to see Sachiko get stabbed with a knife. Suddenly the neighbor came to return the lunchbox. She saw Satoru with his mother, and suspected that he killed his mother. The police and ambulance came right away. Because Satoru panicked, he ran away. When running he sees the glowing butterfly and suddenly returns to 1998, 18 years ago when he was still in elementary school with the physical appearance of a 10-year-old child. Because of how confused Satoru is, he immediately ran home to check whether his mother was there. When arriving at home he remembered that his mother was still at work and waited for her to come home. Seeing how he can change the situation, Satoru immediately took the opportunity and determined this to change the future. Satoru enters school as usual and begins to pay attention to his friend who is about to become a victim of kidnapping and murder, Keiyo Hinazuki. He sees wound marks on Keiyo's body. Satoru starts trying to become Keiyo's friend, because he thought that Keiyo's death in the future happened as the result of him not taking action when seeing her at the park alone that day. Satoru then invites her to his birthday party on the 2nd of March. Satoru looks for Keiyo's birthday date. It turns out that they have the same birthday on the 2nd of March. Then Satoru met with Jun Shiratori, because he still doesn't believe that the kind Jun Shiratori kidnapped and murdered children. Satoru also wants to believe Jun Shiratori was framed by the real criminal. The class picket collects the lunch money that is stored on Satoru's desk. During lunch he checks his desk, and the money's not there. He tells his teacher that the lunch money is gone. Then another classmate, who dislikes Keiyo because of some incident, Misato Yanagihara suspects Keiyo had stolen the money. Everyone agrees and said that the robber must be someone who is poor. Misato told everyone to search their own bags. And Keo found the money in her bag. But Satoru, who sees the classmates bullies Keo, shouted to Misato that there is no way she will do that. And because of that, Keo and Satoru's relationship gets closer. Satoru asks Keo and his friend to go to the science center on Saturday, because he wants to help Keo out from her mother's abuse. When Satoru asked permission from Keo's mother, Akemi Hinazuki, they had a bit of a disagreement. When Keo's mother wanted to slap Satoru, suddenly Sachiko intervened. They arrived at the science center. When both of them were having fun, Satoru recalled something like déjà vu. It turns out that he remembers this situation and conversation is repeating itself. The only thing that changes is his behavior. To prevent the day of abduction by the killers on the 1st of March, Satoru asked Keo to play together at the child center. Before that the incident happened because Keo was alone in the park. The things had changed slightly. Keo is still alive on the 2nd of March. And it's the date of Satoru and Keo's birthday. So they celebrate a birthday party. After the birthday party, Satoru took her home. And the next day Keo didn't come to school. Keo was still killed on the 3rd March. When he walks past Keo's house, he looks at Keo's mom's throwing garbage. He looked at her, but she was smiling. And when he looks at the garbage that is filled with gifts that are being made by Keo but can't be given to Satoru. Satoru, that panicking out of his mind, screamed very loudly. Suddenly he came back to the present 18 years in the future when he is still running from the police, and failed to change the future. Satoru met with his manager named Takahashi at the pizza store where he is working. He offers Satoru food and place to stay, but he betrayed Satoru and called the police to come. Satoru escapes through the back door. And then he met with his co-worker, Eri. Eri helped him to escape and offered a place to stay. She has her own reason to help Satoru and wants to believe that Satoru didn't kill his mother. Eri go to work on the next day. When she wanted to go home, she didn't know that she had met the killer while working. The killer is in a meeting with the manager, Takahashi. On the other side the manager got punched by Eri because she had trusted him to help Satoru, but when seeing Satoru went into Eri's house he called the police. Eri asks Satoru to leave because her house is not safe anymore. When Eri got home from seeing Satoru, the killer set fire to Eri's house, and she's fainted. Satoru, who saw the fire, helped Eri that almost fainted inside. Suddenly Takahashi also came to help Eri. On the next day, Satoru called his mom's co-worker, Sawada, an ex-reporter. Before Satoru's mom died, she called Sawada and told him she knew the killer. They discussed a lot about the incident 18 years ago. Satoru learned from Sawada that, on 2 March 1998, Keo was beaten by her mother and her mother's boyfriend. After got beaten they locked Keo in the shed and she froze to death. But sometime between 10 and 11 p.m. on the 2nd March, Keo disappeared from the shed. Keo's mothers discovered the disappearance at 12:30 a.m. on the 3rd March. The footprint made by the rubber boots around the shed matched Jun Shitatori's boots. Sawada let Satoru open his article that he made. At the same time Sawada came to the hospital to meet Eri. Sawada wanted to ask about the suspect to Eri. But Eri changed position with her mom. She escaped and asked Satoru to meet her at usual place. Eri believes in Satoru, and meets under the bridge. She told Satoru that someone from the city council named Nishizono sounded suspicious. But that name wasn't on the suspect list that Sawada made. Suddenly when they were talking, the police came and arrested Satoru. When Satoru headed to the police car, he saw the killer, watching it all happen. Because he was so angry, he screamed and asked for revival one last time to come back to the past. He came back from the time that he and Keo were in the science center. This is the final revival for Satoru. Kenya realizes Satoru's weird behavior, that he is not like what he used to be. He asked Satoru to speak with him privately. Even though Satoru doesn't say everything, Kenya wants to help Satoru to protect Keo. Satoru went to Jun Shiratori's house to put a test so he can confirm that Jun is not the killer. When seeing how Jun reacted, Satoru became certain that he was not the killer. Satoru repeated his birthday party, but in the middle of celebrating, he went out. He had a plan about how to make the killer not frame Jun. The plan is to threaten Jun's house with throwing stones and putting up a disturbing letter, so police officers will be around. After he initiates the plan and on the way home, he sees Keio's mother walking home from work. Satoru became emotional and couldn't think rationally and wanted to push her from the stairs. Suddenly Kenya helped Satoru to keep his mind calm. So they decided to pretend to kidnap Keio and hide her, to keep her from her mother's abuse. Keio agreed to their idea and prepared a secret hideout. The 3rd of March, Satoru is relieved because Keio is still alive. In the middle of the night at the hideout, someone mysterious came. Keio shut her mouth, the mysterious guys sounded angry and kicked the box there. And after he dropped his stuff, he just left. His teacher, Gaku Yashiro, called a children's consultant to help Keio out. Children consultants come at night to Keio house but no one is home. Satoru tells Keio that there is no one home, and Keio tells everyone that a mysterious man has come to the secret hideout. They checked the mysterious man's bag. Satoru was very surprised when he saw the things in the bag. He is the only one who knows what they were for. It was an item to kill the children. It's very fortunate that the killer did not find Keio. So they immediately moved to Satoru home. Keio temporarily lives at Satoru home. Satoru mother called Gaku Yashiro, and they coordinate a plan for the children consultant to come for the next day. When they confronted Keio mom that Keio is with Satoru this whole time, she is so frustrated. She angrily wants to slap Keio and then suddenly Satoru, his mom, and children consultant come. When Keio mom wants to go to the police to finish the problem. Keio grandma suddenly came and apologized for her past behavior. They cried together, but Keio didn't want to look. In the end, the one who will take care of Keio is her grandmother. The first case is solved, and there are another 2 cases. Hiromi Sugita and Aya Nakanishi are the next person Satoru needs to protect. Satoru will make sure none of them will be left alone. Aya is in a different school. Satoru asks his mom how to make friends with a stranger. The next day, he follows Aya to learn about her activities. Suddenly Satoru met his mother and got asked to help carry her shoppings. His teacher all of a sudden is also there and asks them if they need a ride. As they were talking, Satoru suddenly saw something sticking out of the dashboard, and he pulled it away. Many candies fall. His teacher acts like he quit smoking, that's why he eats sweets. The next day, Satoru and his friends went and checked the secret hideout, but everything was gone. They thought Satoru was playing detective. But they believe in Satoru because it's helping people out. The next day, Satoru and friends come to Aya. They wanted to become friends. But Aya refuses, then Kazu, one of Satoru's friends, comes and tries to impress Aya. She blushes. Kazu invites Aya to their secret hideout and she runs away. Aya that refuses suddenly comes, and they become friends. From this moment Aya and Hiromi will not be alone anymore. They might also be safe in the future. Hiromi said that Misato became alone because of the incident in class before. Satoru in front of school tries to approach Misato. But it's too late. Misato went to Wakaba Gymnasium to cheer on the ice hockey team. He saw Misato and his teacher from afar. When Misato went to the toilet, Satoru, afraid that something was about to happen, secretly followed her. When he was waiting for Misato and wanted to sneak into the toilet, he saw his teacher. Yashiro said Misato already left from the back door. And Satoru saw a Shiratori food product car. Satoru assumes Misato is kidnapped. Satoru immediately asks his teacher for help to chase a Shiratori car to help Misato. When in the car, Yashiro helps Satoru to wear a seatbelt. While in the tunnel, the teacher shows his true nature. It turns out that all this time Yashiro is the kidnapper and murderer. His teacher suspects Satoru has the ability to see the future. Because everything that he thinks, Satoru can anticipate his move. So Yashiro set a trap. He ordered Misato to go to the gymnasium, gave Misato coffee mixed with laxative so that Misato went to the toilet, and ordered bento from Shiratori, as if Misato was kidnapped by Shiratori. Satoru is framed. Until they finally went to the lake, Yashiro opened the window, making the seatbelt more jammed and unable to be opened. Satoru was in the car and was drowned in a very cold lake. Satoru is still not dead, bedridden and being cared for by his mother. For 15 years he finally woke up, but he has half amnesia, recognized people but forgot the events before he drowned. His friends came to see him. Kenya became a lawyer and Hiromi became a doctor. While Satoru was undergoing rehab, Ko came with a baby. She is married to Hiromi. The baby stretched out his hand and touched Satoru. At that moment all his memories came back. Satoru immediately made a plan to expose his former teacher. Gaku Yashiro approaches Satoru. Satoru pretends his memory is still locked. And until Gaku Yashiro wanted to talk alone with Satoru, they took the escalator to the rooftop. Satoru thinks that Yashiro is alive because he is filled with the fact that Satoru is still alive. Yashiro is obsessed with Satoru. Previously, Yashiro had also set up when Satoru died, such as suicide, after killing a child who was going to be operated on. Satoru immediately moved his wheelchair to jump off the building. Yashiro held him back. Yashiro felt they would die together, so Yashiro let go of Satoru's wheelchair. Satoru fell from the top of the building. When Yashiro wants to jump along, he looked down. It turns out that all of that was a setting as evidence that Yashiro was the suspect killer, which didn't happen because Satoru had prevented it. Finally Yashiro got caught. Satoru and the others are very happy that the case is over. Until at the end of the story Satoru becomes a manga artist. When Satoru was walking under the bridge where it used to be where he and Eri met, there he saw another butterfly. And meet Eri. For more interesting anime recapped, subscribe, turn on notification, and leave a like. Thank you for watching.